Hello, if you're in, say hello to us. Just say hello. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, I see somebody joining us now and giving us thumbs up. Say hello if you're in. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hi, ma'am. I have Olori Rote Ajayi here. Ma'am, I'm so honored. I'm so honored you are the one starting the show. I do not have a small guest in the house, and I can see that I have my big audience watching as well. Thank you so much, ma. I can remember the day you honored us with your visit to Ma. That was really good when you talked to us about infertility and mental health. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, Ma. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. May. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation, and I cannot contain my joy that you're in house here with us on my mental health matters. Welcome, ma.
Thank you. Good day, everyone, wherever you are in this on this planet.
Okay, thank you. For those of you who do not know Dr. May, I want to introduce her this way. She has this long bio, but sometimes those bios feel too far away from me. For me, let me
Yeah.
tell you, she is a mentor. She is one of the pace setters when it comes to mental health and psychiatric treatment. She is a great woman in the forefront when it comes to women taking the lead in all in the uh, professional areas of life. And she has a medical center. She owns one of the best in Nigeria, the best in Africa for mental health services, Pinnacle Medical Centers in Lagos, Nigeria, Lekki. I
Yeah.
have the honor of having Dr. May in the house with me to talk about depression in adolescent. Please, if you're in, help me welcome her. It's a big deal. Hello,
Yeah.
Oibola.
Hello.
Oh, see, already saying
Ah.
your good neighbor. Oh,
Yeah.
great, great. And as you can see, this reminds me of something. When I had Olori come here, you know Olori is always with her shades, right? That day I had
That's
shades
true.
on.
The,
I
the,
had
the
shades on.
fabulous, no, you have to add the fabulous glamour. Fabulous
Fabulous
glamour.
glamour. Exactly. Exactly. So, and now that I have Dr. May in the house, she comes with her signature cap, and you see, I do not like to look, I do not like to look out of place. So I'm here with that touch of Dr. May as well. So yes, thank you, thank you. So, all
Thank
right.
you.
Without taking much time, Dr. May, this is a topic that is so dear to my heart because I see patients here. I see adolescent patients here, and seeing what is going on and the gap between what parents know, or what adults know, and what's going on in the lives of the adolescent. I thought that adults and guardians and parents should know more. And
Yeah.
I think you are just the perfect person for this topic. And I want to start with this question. When it comes to depression in adolescents, what does this mean? And
Mm,
oftentimes, what are parents missing? Depression
mm.
in adolescents.
Awesome. We are in vocal word, and it's good for us to know that what vocal word means. Where there's volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, and it looks more like parents are the ones or adults are the ones struggling But the truth is, our kids are also struggling really bad. And if we do not begin to start nipping this in the bud, all adults want to leave a future, a legacy behind, breed children that are healthy, right? But the truth is that we have to start beaming the light on our kids. With the advent of COVID-19, things have increased exponentially health-wise. COVID-19, yes, a physical illness, but the truth is that when it comes to mental illness, which doesn't come with all the bleeding, all the challenges that we need to nip on board. So when we bring it down to mental health in children and adolescents, but narrowing down to depression, depression is just one of the disorders under the general group of mood disorders. So we have other mental health illnesses under that. And why are we even particular about depression in adolescents? Depression being a mood disorder, it affects the way we think, the way we feel, the way we act. And it comes with certain signs and symptoms. But before we even go into that, we need to also know, and this is where parents, educators, concerned citizens come in. World Health Organization has said that half of all mental illnesses start before the age of 14. So if we have 100 mental illnesses, it means that 50 will start before the age of 14. That means children and adolescents can have mental illnesses. So we need to quickly grab that. And 2/3 before the age of 24. So if 50% can occur before the age of 14, 75% will occur before the age of 24. So where do the adolescents fall in? They are falling within this range of 14 to 24. So depression, in as much as it's more in adults, it can also occur in children. So we adults, parents, concerned citizens must understand that children can also get depressed. And I need to pause here. Parents listening, watching, is not part of bad parenting. It's not part of failed parenting. It's not part of you are bad. It's something that is doing you. People are after you. Evil spirits are after you. Village people are after you. No, I think this is where a number of parents have missed it. What are we missing? This is where a number of parents have missed it. Because when we attribute it to all those other things with regards to my village people, my mother-in-law, people in my neighborhood, my neighbors, spiritual attack, somebody in your class, you miss it. You miss the early signs and symptoms because depression in adolescents will not present typically with those symptoms you will see in adulthood. Oftentimes, you begin to start seeing things like stomach pain, body ache, headache. I don't want to go to school today. Exactly. All the physical symptoms. I don't want to go to school today. So you see you beginning to start taking your child to the pediatrician from time to time, or the child will just wake up and say, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go to school today. My teacher is picking on me. Or there's a classmate who doesn't like me. I'm being bullied. But hey, when you hear that word being bullied, please don't ignore it. Because it could actually be a trigger. It could actually be real that this child is being bullied. Or sometimes you may not know all this. You may not present with all this pain here and there. You may just present with things like, I don't want to go to school anymore. I'm not interested in school anymore. School is boring. School is no longer interesting. And these are Gen Z. So because the Gen Z generation, they're creative, they are appreciative, they do a lot of things. You may even be buying into it that, okay, you don't want to do school, so what do you want to do, tech, or you want to learn a trade? Don't miss that. You must nip it on board. Why is that child saying what he or she is saying? So that you will not miss that whole package. And I do not want parents to get to the extent or stage where it's only from academic performance they begin to start seeing that something is wrong with their kids. No. Because yes, it has already reached that stage where the report is, oh, you used to come first or third or whatever, but why are you coming 10 over 15 in the class? What is happening? Or teachers are now, or the class teacher, they are now beginning to tell you what, certain behaviors. And parents, this is another lesson. Don't, when the school reaches out to you or the class teacher reaches out to you, please don't rule out what they are saying, because your child may have a different behavior in school and another one in at home. Maybe more quiet in the house and all that, but in school has been more open, maybe because school is warmer. So your home environment is very key. The climate in your environment is key. The relationship you have with your child is key. So the other things, when it comes to what are we missing, is the fact that we just assume children's behavior, they are just kids. Oh yeah, they're just kids, or it's just a child, or you outgrow it, or it's just a normal behavior. Yes, quite a number of these things are normal behaviors. But when do you now know they are no longer normal behaviors? When it starts affecting this child's daily activities. So the child, an adolescent that normally will wake up, shower, do whatever, take care of his personal hygiene, is no longer interested. Is no longer eating on the dining table with you people in the way it normally is. Is no longer coming out and interacting. Is now more in the room, withdrawn from every other person. Sometimes maybe the opposite, getting more cranky, getting angry, maybe throwing tantrum, right, and all that. Apart from the affecting the daily activities, the child's relationship with other people, it starts getting weird. So you notice, this is for mothers. Mothers, God has given us that awesome gift, whereby, you have that intuition. Please listen to it. Something is wrong somewhere. Yes, something is likely to be wrong somewhere, if you ever feel that. And then the third one is the child's productivity is affected. So that school refusal, academic poor performance, these are the things you should watch out for. In adults, they will say sadness that is for at least minimum of 2 weeks. Your child may not be having that as it is categorically, but if it's an adolescent, you will also notice that ongoing persistent sadness, low energy level, loss of interest, ordinarily this child, things that he or she finds pleasurable, like school, like playing with other students and all that. So these are some of the things you have to look out for. But the minor symptoms, when we in Africa, especially we in sub-Saharan Africa, especially we in the malarial zone, some of the minor symptoms may seem as if it's malaria. Body aches, headache,
Yes.
fever. So, and when it comes to that,
Yeah.
it's very easy for you to say, let's treat malaria.
Yes.
And then you treat malaria, but the truth is that the malaria didn't go. Oh, I think it's typhoid. You treat typhoid. Oh, it didn't go. So you see yourself moving from one pediatrician to another, changing hospital, even doing other tests and just trying to look into. So what are we missing? These are some of the things we are missing. Just assuming kids are just being kids. They are seeking attention. As much as possible, they are supposed to be focused in school. They're supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. But these symptoms are real, because depression is real. Depression also occurs in children and adolescents. And because we are discussing depression in adolescents today, the UNICEF new data of 2021 is telling us that 1 in every 6 young adults in Nigeria are depressed.
Thank you very much, Dr. May. You hit the nail on the head, the right head. You said a lot. That is a loaded answer. And already I have people saying here that, okay, thank you for it's particularly narrowing down on that one about the village people in the climb talking about that. So Tayo, thanks for joining and watching today. Oyebola, I see you also watching us. Thank you so much. And for the sake of those watching, with all that she said, I want to just quickly narrow down to watch out for adolescents, a change in dressing pattern.
Yeah.
It's true that there are trends. There might be trends that they want to be trendy. This is what they're wearing now. But if your child is not would not typically dress some way, and you just notice a change in the dressing pattern, it might be something to want to really know where that is coming from.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sleeping pattern. They might just be sleeping too much. We all know adolescents, they don't like to, especially weekends. They like
They
their
don't want to do anything.
they
They don't
don't
want to work.
exactly. They like their sleep and they don't really want to do chores. And parents, Saturdays are like your chore days. Since they're not going to school, you want to do stuff. If the sleeping pattern is different and unusual, they're
Yeah.
sleeping in too much or they're not sleeping at all.
At all.
You see them watching games at night and doing things, that is just out of the ordinary. Sleep pattern is a good one. Then eating pattern. A
Yeah.
lot of times with a lot of them having body image issues, it is one of the things that can be a red flag too. With
Exactly.
depression, they
It's a
might
big red flag among adolescents. It's a major
Yes.
red flag because everybody doesn't want to grow fat, especially the adolescent females.
females.
So yeah, so they kind of like, I don't want to eat. I'm
Yes.
watching my weight.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
have to really know: is this child, my adolescent, is it actually doing this in watching weight, or is
Yes.
it a symptom of depression? Yeah.
Yes, and then that also closely relates to bullying because
Exactly.
because body image is a big deal in their class. If you're too thin or too on the big side, if it's not acceptable in their school or the culture of wherever
Body
they are,
shaming will not come in.
body shaming comes in. So it is one of those things we want to watch out for too in adolescents when it comes to depression. And then friends change. You might notice that they just try to move to a group of friends, or they
Friends.
withdraw from their friends. They're no longer wanting to hang out with their close friend. They just like tell them I'm not home, or I don't want to go to their house this weekend.
Yeah.
Or you just notice that they're completely not moving with their typical friends, and now they're choosing to start being friends with another group.
So new set of friends. Yeah.
Yes, it's another one, and then dressing. I think I've already mentioned dressing. I just want to quickly add that to all the great points that you've given to us.
Those are very important. And dressing, there will that a lot of times we miss out on that dressing because we do know that they want to wear either something trendy, something in vogue, or whatever. They may be using that to conceal the symptoms, and you will actually fall into the trap thinking they are just following the trend. And this is where parents we as parents and educators must be very vigilant. We must be very vigilant, not just looking at, is this child following the trend, but is this child doing the right thing? Is this child, don't look at the dressing alone. That's just what I want to say. Look at every other thing aside the dressing. If that is only the dressing that has changed, okay. But what of other things in that child's life? Are they also changing? And if they're also changing, then it may be a signal for you to say, okay, there's something that may be going on with this child. I need to nip it on board.
Right. Okay. So here is one for you, and I want to bring it up this way, Dr. May. So here, I'll tell you, I typically don't see African patients. Not because I do not accept African patients to see, but they don't come. I mean, I'm not seeing them. Like I see other people, adolescents from other culture or ethnic group or something. I do not. And I'm wondering, what do you think are the barriers to? Because I know that we have adolescents with challenges, and the first thing is I don't even think our parents are noticing it. The second thing is even when parents notice, at least here, and I believe to a large extent in Africa as well, Nigeria particularly now, it's difficult to seek the appropriate help, which is psychiatric mental health help.
Yeah.
What's the barrier? Is it that parents just do not know, or are they not coming because they do not know, or it's just God forbid that we'll see a psychiatrist?
That is it. So That and many other things. So this is what the typical, we call it pathway to care or pathway to seeking help. So the child comes with all these symptoms, maybe one or more of these symptoms. So they visit the pediatrician. They are very comfortable taking the child to the pediatrician. There's no problem. There's no problem. Yeah, no, mom, where are you going? I'm taking my child to see the pediatrician. It's such a sexy word and look very kinky and all that. And then they get to the pediatrician says, this, we've done this malaria, quick, come back another day. Oh, I think it's typhoid. Okay, let's treat for typhoid. And then maybe a third visit, the pediatrician is like, I think this is just more than what we typically will assume. We've done this, we've run tests, we've done scans. Sometimes they even go above and beyond just to look at if there's anything they are ruling out. Excuse me, sir, excuse me, my dear parents, I strongly believe I need your child. I'm going to refer your child to a colleague of mine. Also, they're very curious. So who is that colleague? I think you will need to see a psychiatrist. Like, for real? Hello? God forbid. If it's a Yoruba person, God forbid. It's not, no. Are you trying to say that my child is mad? Those people that were polite initially, you now start seeing them, their true self will now start coming. What do you mean? This is the typical story. It's not for everyone, but this is usually the typical story. What do you mean? How can you say that? No? Are you saw all that? But, in some cases, you find out that, so if I want to end up with that, they will take their child and go to another hospital and go to another doctor. And so you see them doctor shopping and hospital shopping until maybe, they have gone to the church or they've gone to the Malam. They might have gone to Babalawo or whatever, traditional healer or whatever, even the most learned amongst us. So you find out in that pathway to care, before they eventually come to the orthodox or whatever, it might have taken so long, maybe months or even years. Maybe something disastrous has happened or is about to happen, maybe crisis, maybe that child is now suicidal, self-harming or whatever, right? But in another, on the flip side, you find out that when they refer, they will ask questions and they will actually come. But the thing is that a lot of parents are, number one, in denial. It's not about knowledge. They are in denial. No, it can't happen to me. It's not possible. It's not my portion. It's the village people and all that. So that denial, fuels the stigma and discrimination attached to mental health and mental illnesses what we are still talking about. So they rather go to a neurologist than maybe even come to a psychiatrist. They may rather go to a psychologist than even come to a psychiatrist. The truth is that there's a difference between psychiatrists and psychologists. Psychiatrists are medical doctors. Psychologists are not medical doctors. So if you want to have that baseline evaluation, and you want to make a diagnosis, psychological evaluations are there, yeah, but a medical diagnosis to even know what is wrong with this adolescent. Is it just depression or it may be bipolar? So you find out that it's easily missed. And so when that diagnosis is made, a psychologist cannot prescribe, but a psychiatrist will be able to prescribe medication if and when that child needs it. So one barrier is denial. The second one is the fact that access to care too is also still limited. Let's not take it like, oh, everything is rosy. No, our schools, most of them don't have in-house counselors. They don't.
Right. Most of them don't.
And most of them don't have in-house. So you may know some certain things in the house, but in the school, it should be like a continuum, or something they will start in school, at home should be a continuum. So that is another access. Is also a bad thing. Then when it even comes to the medical people or the mental health practitioners in that field to help, it's also still limited. We still have one psychiatrist to 1 million Nigerians.
Right.
So that is also a big barrier too. Because it's easy to say, okay, I want to see a psychiatrist, you go, or I want to see a psychologist, you go. There's an exodus as it is right now. Doctors, nurses, psychologists, they are leaving the country en masse, right? So these are some of the things that are like barrier to accessing care. But it still starts with parents, it still starts with educators, it still starts with you as a concerned citizen to know that depression is a medical condition that is treatable, that is beatable, and of course, it's manageable. When we understand that, it will be easy to deal with whatever it comes to. And that is why I always say, my mandate is normalizing mental health conversations by building a culture of compassion. Because when we build a culture of compassion, it's easy to speak up and be heard. It's easy to encourage help-seeking behavior. It's easy for people for us to listen to people not judgmentally, and people wouldn't be criticized. We wouldn't judge them, and most importantly, as Nigerians, we wouldn't be apostolic towards them. So these are some of the things that we need to nip on board. We need to nip them on board because depression is real. We have an exponential increase in the rate of depression among our adolescents. And this is the fact that with the COVID, some children found out that their homes are not homes, they are houses. There's a difference. They are not homes, they are houses. They are houses in the sense that the environment is hostile, the relationship with the parents is toxic. Because before COVID, one parent is out of the house before they wake up, one parent is not back to the house when they are about to sleep. So they never really saw that back and forth. Now with the lockdown, it became they notice, some children experience domestic violence. Now there's no longer lockdown, they're back in school. That image, that kind of environment is not leaving them. They can't just phantom that the parents have always thought they are, the demigod, the best of best. They are this kind of parents that couldn't just, they're not adults in the sense that they should see them as adults. So children then get to suffer so much seeing their parents, going back and forth. So these are some of the things that we need to nip on board: the barrier, the denial, the discrimination and stigma attached to people living with mental illnesses and mental health itself. Of course, access to care and resources that are available. I don't want to go into funding because that is a different topic all over again. It's really messy because funding, according to Abuja Declaration of 2001, all African countries are supposed to have 50% of their budget need to health, assigned to health. Only 2 African countries have been able to achieve that to date: Rwanda and South Africa. In Nigeria, our health budget is not even up to 10%. Then when it comes to mental health, it's like 0.001. So those are some of the barriers we have. We don't even have a mental health act. We are still using the Lunacy Act of 1958. So there's so many things.
Dr. May, I can't believe that. Dr. May, I can't believe that you are in Nigeria and this is happening.
You know anything? There's some things that are within your control. Every bill needs to be sponsored, and so the mental health bill has been sponsored. It has passed through the reading and everything. It just needs to be passed. It's just this space in the House of as a representative that just needs to be passed. And we are really, and I told somebody, I said, look, 2023 is around the corner. Look at the Anambra election that just occurred. There's voters' apathy. A population of millions, only about 500,000 people voted. There's voters' apathy. So what makes people think, or the government think, that people will want to vote in 2023? Because of post-traumatic stress disorder, because of the fear, insecurity, people will not want to come out. Why can't they just pass the mental health bill into an act and deploy services that can help people, unbottle their emotions, unclog their emotions, and deal with the post-traumatic stress disorder some people are actually dealing with? Because people don't want to go to a polling vote to do that. And adolescents are going to grow into young adults. By 18, they will need their voters card and start voting. Fix the nation. Fix the system. Fix whatever needs to be fixed.
Well, like I say here, and everyone who knows me know that I focus on leaders. And all this information, the awareness, like your mandate is normalizing the mental health conversation, and I large onto that mandate from the perspective of we increase awareness, we decrease stigma, and I choose to focus on leaders. Because if leaders, like I said, as many people in the country would understand they need this, they need that. If those, the elected, the few, those who emerge either by election or emerge either by influence or however they emerge to be leaders, and at in the workplace, in schools, religious organizations, if we have leaders who understand the impact, the significance of mental health, and what it means, how much it can impact the life of people
Yeah.
positively when they understand and they have the right resources, we will just make everything a lot easier for
A
us.
lot. I trust me, a lot. And it's so sad where, you know, the thing is that when people ask me, oh, being a Nigerian, is it a risk factor for mental illness? It's possible. When
Yes,
you look at the Nigerian world, Nigeria, Dayo, if I tell you the meaning of Nigeria, how it can be a risk factor to being a Nigerian, you'll be amazed. N is Naira devaluation. $1 to about 580 Naira. N is insecurity,
I hope we
banditry,
don't scare
kidnapping.
people.
No. N is insecurity, kidnapping, banditry. These are things that are real.
Real. And
G,
adolescents are seeing
exactly,
all
and
this.
adolescents are also part of this system. G
Right.
is government policies that are so unregulated, up and down, down and up. Today is this, tomorrow is another thing. E, electricity challenges. We don't have 24 hours electricity in Nigeria. That's E. R, roads. Where are the roads? You may even have an emergency to even get to the hospital, there are no roads, right? That flood, NIGER. The other I is inflation. 100,000 as it is right now behaves like 10,000 Naira. Everything has tripled in goods and services. And with all this, there's a resultant effect, which is the A, anger. People are angry. You come to social media, people are fighting one another. The only good thing that has happened in social media these past 2 days is the videos, one-man crowdfunding, and now today he has now announced that he's giving out the whole 250 million to orphanages. That is the only good thing that has happened. But before now, so many bars, balls, issues. So when you look at the word Nigeria, maybe we should just be UAR. Maybe when we go to UAR, things may be easier. These adolescents are also part of this system.
Right.
So
Right.
if the home is not the issue, the school may be the issue. And we need to nip this on board. It's not just the home. Schools must be, the school system or educators must be able to create a mentally healthy school environment for children.
Right.
If you say you have a school policy, no bullying, no this, are you really following through, or you just made it also to tick the boxes that you are following regulations? Do you have in-house counselors? Do you make sure that they have this training from time to time? My first op-ed as an Aspen New Voices Fellow was use teachers to help African teens maintain their mental health. It's on allafrica.com. It's online because teachers are like low-hanging fruits. We have over 2 million registered teachers in Nigeria. We have less than 200 psychiatrists. So just tell me, how do you? The question will never balance. But when you train teachers, train the trainers,
train the trainers.
Train them on psychological first aid. They'll be able to help themselves and help the teenagers and children in school. So these are things that are very important, very important.
And on that, picking up on that, while we're doing that for teachers, we have so many churches as well. We have so many churches and pastors. So if we have them if we have the pastors and stuff, knowing that, hey, this, just like you will not treat malaria in a church, all those things when they're happening, you pray that the treatments that they give you would work. You pray that, we won't have side effects, but at least go to the right place to get the right treatment. So instead of putting everything on the limited people.
Exactly. Especially those that are heading the teenage or churches.
The teenage department,
department. And they do those jobs so beautifully.
Yes.
So get them on board, train them. Basic skills. Just the way we train before for cardiopulmonary resuscitation. CPR is the physical version of mental health first aid.
Right.
You train them and equip them, and so that they can be able to pick these early signs and symptoms. They are glaring. When you look at the child, they spend more waking hours in school than at home. Monday to Friday.
Right.
So these things are when you train these people in churches, at least if they go to the religious home and the mosques, they are able to pick these things. They go to school, they are able to pick it. Parents, they are able to pick it. So it becomes a wholesome, and total package. People don't really get to miss out with regards to ability to check the boxes and look at the red flags and, of course, the warning signs.
Right. Okay. So, all right. Dr. May, I like this. This is a good conversation. And thankfully, I have a lot of leaders on my platform. So I know they're listening. And in fact, and I know they've been doing a lot. So thank you to everyone who has taken action, who are currently taking action, and for those who would take action from the queue of what we've just heard from Dr. May. So just this morning, like today is Children's
Day, World
International
Children's
World
Day.
Children's
Yeah.
Day, and you posted the statistics this morning about the increase in the number of increase in the number of children and adolescents that are coming in for severe mood disorder, severe depression and anxiety since the time of you released your book. I love
Yeah.
that book. But before we go
Oh,
into
deep
that book,
expression. Yeah.
yes, deep expression. That book, we're all coming to it, and I want everybody to please stay tuned. But since that book was released, you talked about the increase in that visit, and I'm thinking, if people are reading, if people read that book, even well, we won't put everything solely on the book, but at
Yeah.
least since that time, if the statistics is showing 150% increase in the visit, do you think, I mean, how can we connect that to what can help more people seek help
Mm, mm. The
for their
beauty about
adolescent?
Yeah, the beauty about it is that we differentiated those that came in on their own, maybe referral, maybe from the school, from other doctors, and from those that came in just for the book alone. And
Great.
from the book alone, we found out that the teenagers, most of them are the ones that push their parents to come.
Teenagers initiated those visits.
Yeah, they did more of the teenagers.
More of them.
Of the teenagers that initiated the visit. So these are Gen Z generation, and they are the therapy
Gen
generation.
Z don't play.
Yeah, they are the therapy generation. I remember one that eventually came.
Mhm.
So I will talk about 2 or 3 of them. One that eventually came. She threatened the parents that if they don't bring her, she has gone on Google. She has the address. Uber will take her, and then when she gets there, she will make sure that we call their parents to come. The parents came with that attitude of, what do you want to say? After all, she's the one that dragged us here. By the time we schooled them on what they need to do and how they need to, it was very glary that girl needed support, but the parents needed support more. So sometimes it's not even about the teenagers, it's also about the parents. The parents not being in that mentally sane space where they can see how to help or have the ability to help their children.
Yeah.
They are not emotionally there yet because you
Yes.
cannot give what you don't have.
Yes.
They're emotionally affected, especially the mothers who are the natural nurturers. We're not saying dads are out of it, but women, God has given us that natural nurturing hormone. So we nurture people to greatness. So some of them came on that basis. We've had another one that came on the basis that after reading, there are some places in the book that we have questions on. Ask yourself,
Yes.
as a parent, exactly.
Yes.
So she just jokingly went to the boy's room and was asking the boy those questions. And then the boy just started crying. And the mom was like, but I was just asking. He said, no, did somebody send you to me? The mom said, no, I'm reading a book and the book said we should ask questions. So I'm asking you. He said, Mom, look at. So he rolled up his sleeve
and showed this. Oh God. If there's anybody here who had followed this series, this is the 3rd episode of this series. I've been saying the cutting. They cut and they start wearing the long sleeve. It seems like it's awkward, and that's why. So if you see adolescents sometimes wearing long sleeve in summer, or everywhere they're going to, it has to be sleeve. It has to cover their neck. There might be self-harm going on. We see this a lot. Even on the stomach, their thighs, their hands, they do it. Oh, I'm glad you shared this. Please go ahead, ma'am.
And the mom like, what? In fact, that morning he has freshly cut wound, And because at home you wear long sleeves, the school uniform is also long sleeve. So they never really paid attention that this boy made. And it broke down. This is a 14 getting to 15. And the mom was like, what? He said, for the past 3 months, I've been depressed. I've been saying it. But you and dad will say, let's pray, let's pray. Mom, I'm not a devil. I need help. And so the parents came crying. Of course, we have to help manage them first. And the boy eventually is placed on medication and is doing so well now. And it's not just doing well behaviorally, but academically, even the school realized it. So we have to use the opportunity to reach out to the school too, because they knew that something was wrong, but everybody was like, oh, it's just a teenager. It's just their behavior. Please, let's stop that. It's just their behavior kind of thing. It doesn't work that way. If you notice something, say something. You see something, say something. You hear something, say something. Because at the end of the day, you will just be saving a life. And the third one, the parents came before they brought the child. They came, father and mother, from well dressed to tell me that their child is talking rubbish. And if they eventually bring the child, I should team up with them. I'm like, okay, so what did the child say? He's talking about I'm depressed. And yes, the mother said, yes, I read your book and I saw it, but I don't think our child is depressed. But he says he's depressed because he read the book and we used it to start the conversation after church on Sunday. And he said he has ticked all the boxes in the book and we don't think so. So please, when we bring him after school next week, we want you to also support us. I said, Daddy, Mommy, thank you very much. It's always very good. We talk about these things, but the truth is that if your child says he or she is depressed, your child needs help. And by the time the girl came, this is a girl this time around, she marked all the boxes with severe depression. She was already hallucinating. She was already delusional.
So depression with psychosis.
With psychosis, it's straight on. And by the time I now made the parents to understand this, they all came in agreement. But that denial is still a major barrier. That denial that, okay, but we don't want her to be on medication. I said at this point, she will not only be on medication, she needs admission. And the girl was shouting, listen to doctor, the people may just wake up and you will not see me alive.
And Dr. May, so this is where we talk about suicide. Because when you know how statistics shows that almost, I think 1 in 3 of those who would eventually die by suicide had told somebody.
Yes, I told somebody. Yeah.
People take it for granted.
Exactly.
And that is where there's a thin line between when they're saying, it's attention seeking, that I'll kill myself. I don't want to travel. I don't want to relocate. I don't want to go to that school. If I go to that school, I will hurt myself. When they're saying things like that, a lot of times we think is attention. They're just seeking attention. How can parents handle this situation? Because really a lot of parents are dealing with this and they don't know what to do, because most parents, especially in Africa, miss it until it gets really bad.
Yeah.
When it happens like that, what is the first thing they should do? Here,
the first thing parents should watch out. I anywhere I go, I always tell parents, one thing you must watch out for your child is change. One word, change. What has changed in your child that you are noticing today, you didn't see yesterday, and if you do not nip it on board, it may escalate tomorrow. That singular word, change. So a child is talking about, let Ratchop take place now. I don't want to go to school. Oh, mommy, are we relocating? Oh, mommy, I don't like that school again. Mommy, I don't like this school bag again. Mommy, no, or you see the child may not be doing the typical things of dashing out their things, but that child is showing signs that everything is of no interest. Once you notice that change, and this is a God gift to most mothers, if not all mothers, there's that natural intuition that something is about to happen or something is happening. When you feel that way, something is actually happening. Just listen to your guts and do what you have to do. So your child may be suicidal, you may not know. I tell parents sometimes they say, oh, we are invading their privacy. No. From time to time, you must also set your child's room, set your child's book. There's nothing like I'm invading. It's your child. If anything happens, it's your child. If your child dies on you, it's your child. And you may never live to bear that guilt and that. So set my child, they will go and play. I will search their room. Because the truth is that when your child is depressed, it's possible you are not listening, or you are not paying attention, or you are trivializing that child's issues. They'll go and meet their colleague and say, of their peer, who will say, oh, I took one tablet last week and it worked for me. So because they want to get out of that low mood, they take that tablet, or they smoke that cigarette, or they take that weed. And before you know what is happening, they are self-medicating to get their mood up. And in the process of self-medicating, tolerance can set in, dependency can set in, addiction can set in. So you are seeing a child who is depressed and who is addicted. So for you as a parent, you must pay attention. Parenting before friendship. Parent your child. And it's key for you to put eyes, be more vigilant, be more, aware. And that is where I came up with an acronym. In COVID lockdown, I came up with an acronym of parenting. And I think before I will forget it, let me quickly chip it on it before we go to another question. Because whether you are a teacher, you are an educator, you are a parent, we are all parenting. You may not have the biological child, but you are parenting somebody's child. So what is key in parenting? Presence. All parents need to be present. Children are not talking about the fact that you buy them gifts. They want you to be present. They want that quality time with you. And that is why you see some fathers are not working in the same location with their wife and children. But anytime they're around, the children value their father more than their mother. Because the father will come with quality time. But the mother is at home with the children. Hey, go and bring my remote. Go and bring water for me. Carry my leg. They're like, this woman. Children want your presence as against the present you give them. So presence is very key. The A is awareness. You must be aware. During COVID, there was a girl who I've spoken to the parents, the mom in a corporate organization, and I told them to be aware of certain things they should look out for. This girl, she was 16. She turned 16, and somebody Ubered throw pillow to her that year. In that throw pillow, because the mother was aware that anything that comes into the house for your child, try to take that package and see what it is. She opened that throw pillow. There were 15 wraps of marijuana embedded inside. So you must be aware as a parent. Don't segregate your parenting to somebody else. You must be aware. That is PA. R is reassurance. You have to just keep giving your children reassurance. All may not be aware, but try as much as possible to be vulnerable to. Children see us as superheroes, demigods, whatever. How vulnerable are we to our children? Letting them know the difficulties we are also going through. Some kids see their parents as billionaires or $10, Dangote, but you know you are struggling. And then the child cannot comprehend why you are not getting him or her what you need to get him or her. So you must be vulnerable to an extent. You feel down and up. I know we'll go to the bedroom and cry and all that. Who said you cannot cry in front of your children and let your children know exactly what is going on with you? So you must give a lot of reassurance. PARE. You must be emotionally present. Some of us don't have it. And if you don't have it, please get help. Get help. Stop trying to make it look as if it is, because of you people I'm suffering. You are suffering ordinarily. Go get help. Fix yourself. Because you can't give what you don't have. You cannot operate from a place of deficit. So you must be emotionally present. PARE. Non-judgmental listening. We judge a lot. That's why children don't tell us what is wrong with them. Children want you to listen to them to understand, not listen to them to respond. Stop telling them, Mommy, I think I'm going through this. They say, what do you mean? It's not possible. You have a roof over your head. Do you know how much your school fees is? Do you know this?
What do you know?
What do you know? What is depression? Come on, Benuson. Shut up there. God forbid. Go and wash your mouth. Devil is a liar. Non-judgmental listening. Just listen. Nod, nudge the child on, encourage that child to speak and all that. This time management. Parents, let's create routines in our home. Let's put a structure to whatever we are doing. When it's time to wake up, wake them up. When it's time for them, if that one's washing plate today, let them wash. If that one's sweeping, cleaning, put a structure. So PANNPARENTI, inspire your children. Stop letting your children say, who is your role model? Justin Bieber, Beyonce, and Davido, Whiskey. How come your child is not aspiring to be like you? Inspire your children to be the best they are supposed to be on earth. No, in their pursuit for greatness, you are a formidable force for your children. Children come in as a plain board. We write on it.
Right.
So inspire them. In as much as we know that we are talking about this, we also know and we must give cognizance to the end in parenting needs. We have parents that are already dealing with children with special needs. Special helps to them because they are overburdened, they are overwhelmed with that. And if you are in that category, look for support group. It really helps. Look for people that will also help you. And G, in Nigeria and in Africa, you cannot say anything without G. Godliness and spirituality. No, if anything. So when it comes to this parenting acronym,
yes,
we will pray that everything we do, may God crown everything with success. And that is where I want us to understand that when it comes to parenting, it's way more than just what we do for them, what we buy for them.
It's more than vacation and
it's more than vacation. It's more than you have Netflix, you have DSTV, you have 24 hours live, whatever. They need you. They need your presence. They need your constant reassurance. They need your non-judgmental listening. They need a home with good climate that is not toxic and of course it's not hostile. They need a stress, an environment that is filled with laughter.
Right. And you said something that I want us to highlight. A lot of these adolescents, that depression might not be related to what is going on. It might just be genetic. And there are a lot of parents as well who are undiagnosed and untreated because of maybe a man. Some men are going through depression that they cover up. Some women are going through depression that they cover up. They just think, oh, she's just always been like that. So there are a lot of adults and parents who also are undiagnosed and untreated. So it's difficult for them to help their own children. So like you mentioned that sometimes you need to go and fix yourself so you can be emotionally present
for your children.
Yes, so that is a very important point. So everybody watching, sometimes we need to start with ourselves so that we can help our children and adolescents that we have around. Dr. May raised that very important point.
I know one question somebody's asking is that what can cause depression? What can make and it's good, and I like the fact that somebody's asking, because the thing is that sometimes it may just look as if it's not a medical condition. Depression is we have what we call non-communicable diseases. And under that, we have hypertension, diabetes, mental illnesses, cancer. While we have sympathy for those with cancer, we are stigmatizing those with mental illnesses. They are all under non-communicable diseases. So for you that ask this question on what can cause mental illness, we have what we call childhood experience. So who is at risk? What can cause mental illness? We have predisposing factors, things that are not necessarily within your control, that will have happened in your childhood. For example, positive family history of mental illness. It's not your fault now that your grandfather has a mental illness, or your daddy has a mental, or somebody in your family has it. It's not your fault. It's just there. And that is why when you go to the hospital, whether it is for asthma, cancer, whatever, they are going to ask you, is there anybody with family history? Because most medical conditions have family history. Another reason is coming from a dysfunctional family setting. Father will say come, mother will say go. This is where our problems have just started, because it's a tip of the iceberg with the UNICEF data of 1 in every young adult in Nigeria, adolescent, has depression. It's a tip of the iceberg. Years to come, the repercussion of this COVID-19, we have not even started reaping it. We have a long way to go. So a dysfunctional family setting, coming from a home where there was domestic violence, this is where we are still shouting. Domestic violence is a risk factor, it's a cause, it's a major problem. You know, the boys will grow up to become the people that we hit, the abuser. The girls will grow up to become the abusee. After, when daddy was beating mommy, mommy doesn't really used to respond. Then coming from a home where there was death of one or both parents, it's not your fault. So divorce, domestic violence, death of one or both parents, positive family history. One also very significant risk factor, of course, is childhood sexual abuse. You're a child. It wasn't your fault. But again, because these things have happened, and as you grow, you are not yet an adult. So we are not going to be talking about the factors that will affect, how an adolescent. This childhood, we call them adverse childhood experiences, can easily make a child have, anxiety, depression, or start abusing substances. So your home environment, even if you are a single mom, create a home environment for that child or children. Stop using them for scapegoating. Stop making them feel as if, the reason why you are divorced is because your father did this and that. No, deal with yourself. Fix yourself emotionally so that you can lift your children out of that, vicious circle of emotional abuse and, mental health related issues. So these are some of the things that can easily tint an adolescent into having issue. Or bullying in school, we cannot take that away. Bullying in school environmental, maybe if also the child is dealing with another medical condition. So sometimes maybe an underlying medical condition, or it may be an obvious medical condition that's not allowing the child to thrive. So that will affect maybe the academic performance. So self-esteem issues, self-worth issues, self-confidence issues. So we have to start learning how to build resilience in our children.
Dr. May, you are coming back, okay? And Dr. May, I am just putting you on the spot here because next month we're talking about children. So with my mental health matters, we have over time decided to be focusing on a group so that we go deeper. We've done men, we've done military, now adolescent, and for December we're focusing on children. And
awesome.
we need you here one more time. I hope that you have time for us. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but this is
no problem.
And so this is the part where I want to talk about your book. So everyone that's been listening, this I want you to please listen attentively now. And if possible, I can see someone is already asking for sponsorship, but I already have something I have something in stock for all our viewers today. So Abdullah, thanks for joining. Dr. Ruth, thank you so much. Dr. Ruth, her mom died by suicide, and since then she has taken up, the curse of increasing awareness about suicide, how to decrease it, how to educate people and stuff. So she's about that, and she was saying, when children are seeking attention, give it to them.
That's it.
Like I said last week, when someone is seeking something, is because they don't have it. Is it for good reason or bad reason? But give that attention first, and then you find out.
You not deep dive whether it is good or bad. If you don't give that attention, you miss everything completely.
Completely. To Jezba, Tunji Ogundeju, thank you for joining as always. This is one of our greatest audience in this group, and thank you for joining. It said, I've learned a whole lot today. I'm glad I didn't miss this. They said, this is powerful. Doctor, you are just excellent. Thank you for the reminder. You're just excellent. So thank you so much. Now, Dr. May, I told you earlier today, I think my dad or my mom took a copy of my book to Nigeria. So I ordered another one. It's not here yet. Can you help me put up that book? You see, this book, Deep Expression, should be in every library. It should be every parent, adolescent, caregivers should have this book. And I'm not saying this just for the sake of it. Dr. May didn't ask me advertise my book, because this book is advertising itself. And she had put in a lot into it to make it so easy. When I read the book, it was so fascinating. I could not drop it till I finished it. And as a practitioner myself, seeing people that I use DSM-5 for all these the criteria and stuff, the way she simplified it, the way she brought home depression and how to make it useful. So it's not a book you just read for the sake of it. It is a book that is almost like a guide. A guide. It's good for parents, it's good for children, and it is just a great book to have. I want you to please order your copy on Amazon, and I'm going to be giving out 10 copies. I'll give out 10 copies. Abdullah, you got one down. Oinida, you got one down. Dr. Ruth, you got one down. Let me see. Tijesba, you also got one down, because I want you to have it, but all I'll just need for you to do is, when you finish reading, please post something about it on
Yeah,
your book so
I
that more
appreciate
people
that.
can buy it. I know that a lot of number of us here, we have other parents as friends. Let them just have it. It might not be you who really need this. It might be that your friend, it might be that your neighbor who might not even like the post or love the post, but
Yeah,
would buy it and say, hey, maybe I
help
need
them.
this. So please let us get this book in the hands of as many parents as possible.
Yeah.
It is worth much more than the money that it's costing us. It will save lives. Like she said, an increase of 150%
It's
since
alarming. It's
it is.
alarming.
It tells me that there's a
It's
gap, that if
alarming.
people would understand some things going on, they're like, oh my God, this has been in front of me all this while,
Why?
and I've been missing it. And then we can save that child. And by saving the child, we're saving another generation. By doing this, we're even saving ourselves a lot of hassles. Because from this, Dr. May, and I'm sure this happens to you, because for me, it is when some parents bring their children, and I'm doing the evaluation, that I'm finding out that this parent also needs to go get
Yeah, yeah,
their
yeah,
own
yeah. Because that
appointment.
child will never get better because the parent needs help to get that child to where that child needs to go to. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So that is why I would want everybody to have the book. Please help me show the book again. I feel so bad that I don't have my own
Yeah.
copy to be
Deep
holding up.
expression.
It's deep
Our
expression
emotions are deep, and we always look for a way to express them.
to
That's
express
the
it.
reason for deep expression.
Right.
Express them, yeah.
Right.
But
So
it does deep dive more into depression and just help you. It's in a story format. Health talks are usually very boring. So in the story of the lead actress Brenda, and how she's
no,
living
Dr.
things.
Lee, you do not do anything boring. No, nothing boring. No, no. If it's boring, it's not Dr. May. And that book, I don't think that you're going to be reading depression is sleeping and
No,
thinking,
no.
oh my
You will
God,
see yourself in it.
beautiful. You get hooked right from the beginning.
And caveat, don't start reading it at night. You are
Okay,
likely not going to sleep. You want to finish it before you sleep. And if you have something to do early morning, it may be, oh, no. So read it during the day. Start it during the day, and it can be read within 2 hours.
yes,
That's the beauty about that book. It can, because it's the story, the windmill, the rebate, and how parents struggle to, and I deliberately made Brenda's dad not to seek therapy because that is the normal culture here. Men don't seek help. And please, as a current parent or aspiring parent, our parents, we are already a lost generation. So we now bringing up the new world. Let's change the narrative.
yes.
Don't tell your boys don't
Don't cry.
cry. Man up. You are a man. Stop that trash. It's utter bullshit. Don't even go there. Don't try it. Stop doing that rubbish. It doesn't make sense in any which way. Men cry. We are humans. Please allow your boys to cry. Two things may happen. Two things. Either they cry so much, they feel dehydrated, give them water to drink. Or they may be running temperature, or maybe you feel, oh, they've cried too much. Give them Tylenol or whatever, paracetamol. They'll be fine, syrup. They'll be fine. Allow our boys to cry. They are humans. So that when they turn into men, your voices will not be ringing into their ears. Oh, I was told I'm a man. Men don't cry. And that is why completed cases of suicide is more among men than girls. Girls will come on Facebook, I want to kill myself. All of us will be running. Break our door. Hold her. This. But boys will not come. I'm a man. They will go and hang themselves. So please, let's change the narrative. Let's break that jinx. Let us revolutionalize normalizing mental health conversations, so that our boys will know that I'm a boy. I'm a human being. I have feelings. Let me cry. It's okay to cry, and it's okay not to be okay at times.
Right, right. It's okay not to be okay. Even for us as mental health professionals, sometimes we're not okay, and
Don't go there.
we just know to
exactly. Therapist, don't go there.
exactly, like like I've learned from school, like if you're seeing a therapist that does not have a therapist, you need to
You
watch
are
out.
in a long thing. Better make sure you ask your therapist, are you doing therapy? Because the things we hear, we feel, we touch, we whatever, it's not healthy for our own mental health. So all therapists deserve to have therapy. And if your therapist tell you I have therapy, be very happy and in fact, be glad that you are with that kind of therapist, because that means your therapist know what it is to manage him or herself, so that they'll be able to manage you better. We also do it. We do therapy for ourselves to help the unbottle. Do you know what it is? People will say, oh, doctors don't feel. It's a lie. Do you know what it takes for a doctor to say, I'm very sorry, we lost him? Do you know, are you trying to say doctors or therapists are not humans? Or you come and tell the therapist, look, I'm going to kill myself, or I'm going to kill him, or I'm going to kill her. So many toxic things we receive on a day-to-day basis. So your therapist asks, next you go for therapy, or you know any therapist, do you have a therapist? And they say, no, I don't deal with therapy. I'm already a therapist. Your therapist is
You're in the wrong place.
Your therapist is not all right. Exit that WhatsApp group, because your therapist doesn't know how to take care of him or herself. It's part of self-care. Your therapist needs to take care of him or herself. It's deliberate and it's intentional for your therapist to have a therapist. It is okay, because we also need to be up and about, to be able to stay grounded, to do what we are doing. We are not superhumans. We are not robots. We are human beings. We also deal with our devils, our evils too. We are humans. We have relationship challenges, some of us economic issues, some with traumas that haven't been resolved, and you think your therapist is all right. Better make sure your therapist has a therapist or therapist.
Dr. May, I'm sure people can testify, and when I say there's no boring with you, it is not, because that is exactly the truth. Don't even think that because somebody is one mental health person, they got it. No, no. We also do what we need to do. The only difference is we know what to do, and it's important that we
Exactly.
do the right thing and we know
Yeah.
the place to go.
Yeah.
So yes, all to everyone who joined today, thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Dr. May, I cannot thank you enough for honoring my invitation.
No problem.
And thank you enough for all that you've given. So please, if you're in the house, can you say thank you to Dr. May? Please say thank you. Oh, what? Did you see that? Tunji Ogunjeje, he said, I want to sponsor as well. He's adding another 10.
Oh, thank you, Mr.
Oh,
Tunji. Thank you. Thank you for sponsoring
great,
more books. Thank you. We're
great,
grateful. I have
great.
somebody on my life, Lily Gold. Thank you so much. She has been so amazing. She said, I have 6 sons. I allow them to feel the way they feel. Thank you so much. That is awesome. And it's so fulfilling to hear a mother saying, I have 6 sons and I allow them to feel the way. We have to begin to change the narrative. Stop
Yes.
all that you are a man. You know, a widow and a widower, they don't grieve the same. A widower, they will just, he's a man, he's fine. No, is human.
Yeah.
Let us
Yes.
embrace humanity. Let's preserve what it is to be human.
Yes. Oh, Dr. May, you're getting lots of love here. Lots of
Thank
thank
you very
you.
much.
A lot of
Thank
thank
you,
yous. Thank
everyone.
you. So, if when you're in Nigeria, you need treatment, please reach out to Pinnacle Medical Services. Call them. If trust me, if you need referral, they will do it. We in mental health, we refer as appropriate. So
That's it.
sometimes you might need to also ask your pediatrician or maybe your family care, your primary care doctor as adults that do you think I need referral? You can start with them, but sometimes you do need referrals. But at the same time, I'm saying uh, please reach out to her if you're in Nigeria for help. If you need to go for evaluation, if you have more questions, but a good place to start is to get a copy of our book. A lot you would understand so that you might know exactly what you'll be reaching out to them for. So we'll end on this note. And as you all know, I'll let Dr. May say final words and then I will end with the usual way. Dr. May, final
Thank
words
you
for
very
our
much for
audience.
everyone that took time out of, these days, you must also thank people because this online thing is so overwhelming. So thank you for taking time out to be part of this. We truly, truly appreciate you, and we truly, truly, thank you for, for just being here with us. And like Dayo said, please don't keep it to yourself. Having or dealing with emotional issues, don't see it as if you are alone. No, we are all in it together. Many people gone. If I tell you, if I roll out statistics in Nigeria, one of every 5 adults is depressed. So we are wearing clothes. Everybody is wearing and look at me looking. You don't know that I've taken my antidepressant. You don't know. There's so many people that are dealing with issues. So please, as a parent, educator, counselor, concerned citizen, don't be in denial if you are dealing with issues or your child is telling you he or she is dealing with issues. Secondly, don't trivialize what they are dealing with. I'm begging you. You can't deal with the guilt of your child taking his or her life. You can't. No matter how time heals, it haunts you forever. So don't be in denial. Don't trivialize their issues. Listen not judgmentally to them. Nudge them on. While you are parenting them, try as much as possible to be friends with them so that they can easily open up to you, talk to you. If you can tell your child, look, the worst thing you can do, my dear, is you kill somebody. Let me know. We'll deal with it together. Your child wants to know that dad and mom have got their backs at every point in time. And if you notice, your instinct tells you, or it's obvious, your child is dealing with an emotional issue, please seek help. We know prevention is always better than cure, but please seek help. Mental illnesses, and when it comes to depression, is beatable, is treatable, is manageable. We know quite a lot of people that are on antidepressants. Some of them, the thing is that when it comes to treatment of depression, medication is not the rule of thumb. Not everybody will be medicated. Not everyone. I beg you. So don't come with that notion that, oh, my child is going to be on medication, or he'll be on medication for life. No. Psychotherapy, counseling may just be the only thing your child needs. Maybe rearranging the child's life, readjusting some certain things, putting structure to say, and that will just be it. If and when your child needs medication, please don't pill shame them. Let them take those pills. They are not pills for life. I know that's a common question people ask. They are not pills for life. Let them take that pills. They are drug holidays we give them. And let them get to that point where they are able to understand what they are dealing with and how life is. Because when they become gurus to what they are dealing with, it's easy for them to manage. And it's easy for them to know if the symptoms are reoccurring again. They can easily take the bull and go get help. So parents, it's not bad parenting if your child is dealing with issues. You haven't failed if your child is dealing with issues. You may be okay. What if your own parents had issues? And because there's a genetic factor to mental illnesses, you may not be the reason, but because it's in the family, your child may have it. So don't feel as if it's bad parenting or people are after you, it's a spiritual attack. No. You are not alone if your child is dealing with mental. We are many. There are many of us that have children or even ourselves that are dealing with mental illness. So please seek for help. Encourage help-seeking behavior. But most importantly, build a culture of compassion where they are able to speak up and speak out. And then when you listen to them not judgmentally, it's easy for them to get help that they need from the right people, the right places, and of course, the right time, which is now. Thank you very much.
Okay, so on this note, I'll tell everyone my mental health matters. What
Yeah.
about yours? I'll see you guys next week, and we're going to have another great time, and that is when we're going to be wrapping up the series on adolescent mental health. So until
Yeah.
then, please take care of your mental health and take care of yourself. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. And of course, remain blessed, everyone. Bye.